Joining me now with more, another Republican candidate for president, Ted Cruz. Oh, no, sorry, hold on. He's speaking live. Let's listen to him.
We will have a respectful, substantive, issues-based discussion where we can have differences in terms of how to turn this country around. We have genuine and real differences in this country, but we can do so in a way that appeals to our better angels instead of our worst instincts, that seeks to pull us together and unite us instead of tear us apart. You know, we've seen for 7 years a president who often at times of crisis has sought to divide us on racial lines, on ethnic lines, on religious lines, on class lines. America's better than this. We don't have to tear each other apart. Instead, we can work together for positive, proactive solutions to the real problems facing this country. Americans want jobs. We want our wages going up. We want opportunity again for young people. And we ought to be having a positive, meaningful discussion about what policies will expand opportunity for the next generation to achieve the American dream. That happy to answer some questions.
Do you think Trump should not cancel the rally?
I think the decision should be based on public safety. But I think a campaign bears responsibility for creating an environment when the candidate urges supporters to engage in physical violence, to punch people in the face. The predictable consequence of that is that it escalates, and today is unlikely to be the last such instance. We saw earlier today in St. Louis over 30 arrested. That's not how our politics should occur. You know, the city of Chicago in 1968 saw some ugly days when politics descended into hatred and incivility and even violence. And it is my hope that in 2016 that we can appeal to our better angels, avoid going down that road once again.
Senator, do his policies have anything to do with it?
You know, at the end of the day, finding Donald Trump's policies is a difficult endeavor because Donald speaks of problems. He speaks about jobs going overseas, but when asked for a policy to fix it, he has yet to propose one. Other than his magic cure-all of negotiate better deals. We'll have better deals to solve every problem. You know, I don't think that is a meaningful solution to the problems we're facing. I think we need economic policies to bring jobs back, to bring wages up. My campaign has from day one been focused on substance and issues and policies. How do we fix the economy? We fix the economy by lifting the burdens on small businesses, because 2/3 of all new jobs come from small businesses. And we do that through repealing Obamacare, through pulling back the federal regulators that are making it harder and harder for small businesses to survive. And we do that through passing a simple flat tax and abolishing the IRS. Those are meaningful policies that will bring back jobs and wage raises.
Senator, why is Illinois important to you on Tuesday? Do you feel like he's hurting your general election chances? Yours.
Look, today what I'm focused on is an appeal to civility in the Democratic discourse. You know, it was nice last night at the debate that the debate did not feature the candidates insulting each other, making derogatory comments about each other's physical appearance, about their body parts, about spray tans. Look, that's not what politics is supposed to be about. Politics at the end of the day is not about any of the candidates. It's not about me. It's not about Donald. It's not about Hillary or Bernie. It's about you. It's about the American people. It's about our kids. It's about the future of this country.
Senator, why is Illinois important on Tuesday, specifically Illinois?
You know, Illinois is tremendously important on Tuesday. Tuesday is a big election. It's a big election nationwide, and I'll tell you, Illinois is a battleground. Right now, here in the state of Illinois, Donald Trump and I are running neck and neck. We are effectively tied. And we are campaigning hard. We are campaigning hard for support here in Illinois. This race has now become a two-man race. There are only two candidates that have any credible path to becoming the Republican nominee. It takes 1,237 delegates to become the Republican nominee. I have 361. Donald has 460. He has 99 more than I do. Nobody else is remotely close. And Illinois will be allocating delegates, and it's allocated by congressional district. This is a battle delegate by delegate by delegate. We intend to earn 1,237 delegates and beat Donald Trump, not at a convention, but beat Donald Trump at the ballot box. And Illinois is going to have a critical choice. If you are an Illinois Republican and you don't think Donald Trump is the best choice to go head-to-head with Hillary Clinton, if you recognize, as 65 to 70% of Republicans do, that Donald Trump loses to Hillary Clinton, then I encourage you to unite behind our campaign, because our campaign is the only campaign that can beat Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. Indeed, we're the only campaign that has beaten him.
Are you urging the voters of Ohio to support and vote for John Kasich? Because if Kasich doesn't win and Trump does, you're dead.
I am not remotely. I am urging the voters of Ohio and Florida and Illinois and Missouri and North Carolina. I'm urging the voters of all of those states. I started with Ohio. That was the first one I listed. I'm urging the voters of all of those states to vote for me, to beat Donald Trump. This is not a game. It's not a game of playing back and forth. This is an election that will be decided by the people. And at this point, you know, there are folks in Washington, the Washington establishment is salivating at the prospect of a brokered convention where they try to parachute in some Washington establishment choice because they don't like what the voters have done. I think that would be catastrophic. I think that would truly cause a revolt among the voters. If you want to beat Donald Trump, and trust me, I want to beat Donald Trump because I think if he's the nominee, we lose to Hillary Clinton and we lose the Supreme Court for a generation. We lose the Bill of Rights. If you want to beat Donald Trump, the way to beat him is at the ballot box. And at this point, our campaign has beaten him not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 8 separate times all across this country, from coast to coast, literally from Alaska to Maine. We have beaten Donald Trump over and over and over again. And so we are working hard to earn the votes of the men and women of Illinois, the men and women of Ohio, and all across this country. We are running a national campaign in every state. And if you were supporting another candidate, you know, a year ago we started out with 17 candidates. It was a wonderful, rich, diverse, talented field. And yet the field is narrow. That's the way the primary process works. Maybe before you were supporting some other candidate. Maybe it was Jeb Bush or Chris Christie. Maybe you were supporting Rand Paul or Mike Huckabee. Maybe you're supporting Ben Carson or Carly Fiorina. Or maybe now you're thinking about supporting Marco Rubio or John Kasich. Every one of them are good, honorable, decent people. They're people who I like and respect. And yet none of them have any path to beating Donald Trump. And so, if you're a voter here in Illinois and you do not want to see Donald Trump as the nominee, I ask you to join us. Even if you were supporting another candidate, come, let's stand together united. We will have a campaign that is focused on issues and policy and substance, that lays out a vision for America of jobs, of freedom, of security, a vision of America that raises wages for everyone who's struggling, a vision of America where the president doesn't do the bidding of the special interest and the lobbyists in Washington, but instead fights, as I have done every day, for the hard-working taxpayers, for the working men and women of this country who've been left behind. We will bring back morning in America if only we stand together.
Chicago's police department.
Senator.